So guys, I formally welcome you all in the last session of this FDP. So it was an exciting journey. I hope so from you, and it was a great learning you had, right? So this is the last session, but you can say in general it is an opening for all of us. And I'm sure that you had a good journey, learning, research experiences, a small nuances, many things you have learned, and I have also learned many things from all of you guys. So now this is the last session talks about the editors and reviewers expectations from researchers, scholars, and faculties, because we have different names as far as this. So let's understand. So this session is also a recap of the entire thing what we covered in the last 9 modules or 9 sessions that you can see. So it is in that series, it is a 10th session, but it is a great one. I hope so, and please note down. So I would be covering and taking you this journey for next 20 minutes. Okay, so I may be fast, but I will not repeat the things what we have discussed so far. So let's start, guys. So I welcome you formally again. And after closing this session, there will be exam schedule, so which I will inform you in a separate window. Okay. So guys, in the publishing process that we already know and we have understood in through this FDP that publishing is very important exercise. So why we publish? For career advancement, institution requirements, funding, improvement for your paper, gain approval from different subject experts like that, different dimension, because whenever we talk, we generally talks about that way. And your paper will be reading by many readers like reads. You will get like research gates, provide reads, citations, and many things, so on and so forth. Your paper will be a permanent one, because whether you will be live in this world, I request God, or I pray to the God that you will be live for longer. But if you are not there by chance or by some means, that your paper will be alive always, right? So your paper will be permanent one. In that case, you will get the gain reputation. So publication is a very compulsory and useful exercise in our life. Contribute to the body of knowledge as well, because we are all contributors, because I believe in this. So it is a publishing processing cycle. Concerns, what concerns do you about the entering the publicity cycle? And you can believe that you are sitting in front of, just like this picture talks about, and clock is with you, time is with you, and you are surrounded by, so you can just make a feel it, like how the professors look like. I think our offices are also like that. but you know it is a great learning, because we are contributing, we are not authorities. Please come out from the jargons like authorities or speaker, because a group can be authority but not an individual is authority. Yes, so that is that way. So guys, this is the process: author, editor, publisher, managing editors, production, and users, like this. So there are different things. I think we have already discussed this part. So we always think that from the users to the research author, so this cycle goes and goes and like this. Okay, so the publishing process ideas from where to start. So are you working on a doctoral or master's thesis? Maybe you're on independent research, because many people do their consulting in the research as well. So we need to look at that way also. So have you completed a project when concluded successfully? Are you wrestling with the problem? Wrestling means fight, wrestling with the problem with no clear solution. You have no idea, nobody will help you, only you are the person which can help you. And this thing only comes once you read so many papers in your area or in that discipline, as we have discussed in other sessions too. Do you have an opinion or observation on the subjects? Have you given a presentation or conference paper? Generally, we people advise to the people or scholars to go and attend some conference, so that they can have fair idea and understanding what is going in and around. So it is always good and advisable to attend at least 1 or 2 conferences after a gap of 6 months. But during this corona and COVID time, people have not meeting physically, but at least e-programs, many e-programs are going on. So you can just go and make a dialogue with that. If so, you have to basis of the publish paper as well, right? So since publishing process is a selecting a journal, so there are certain tips also. Select a journal before you start writing. A good choice of the journal can enhance your impact or your paper and reputation. Think about which presentation, which read the audience you want to share with it. And guys, you are happy to know that this is not a recent presentation which has been prepared. This I'm using since more than like 7 to 8 years. It was prepared in 2013 or so, 2012, when the online classes were started at that point in time. So that is the presentation I brought, and I made some updates according to the recent research. So think about the publication which reaches the audience and you want to share with your research. Measuring quality means citations are good but not complete. Guide to quality. use a better measure of the utility. Other factors are also there, like recent research articles, most communicative societies you can think for, internationality you can think for, likelihood or acceptance, circulation, so many things. So measuring a quality based on these parameters. So publishing process is not a very easy exercise. I think we have already understood. Selecting a journal is also not an easy exercise. So we believe that selection of a journal is very much important, and we need to look at in a categorical way, one by one or in a sequence, right? Be strategic. Wonderful, example. You remember this word after this activity. Be strategic. 5 article in low ranked journals, or you want 1 article in a top ranked journal. You decide. So I believe I am in the favor of 1 article in the top ranked journal, rather keep aside. 5 articles not low in ranked journal will not be useful for you, right? In your career, maybe as a person, as a researcher too, right? So it is really important for you to decide that what is the. So where does your institute expect you to publish? So that is also your call. You can discuss with them and ask them, right? So these are some of the things. Considering your co-authorship, so who can be your co-author? Where to find a co-author, supervisor, colleagues, your conferences, generally, you can take an example like Emerald, Wiley, many research connections you can make, Springer. So here one example is like Emerald research connections like this. So these are co-authorship can also help you to understand, even I can be your co-author, or you can be a co-author in my projects like this. So it is not very difficult exercise, but generally editors and reviewers expect that you collaborate more. So if you ask me, sir, can you abbreviate the entire FDP? Do collaborate, do research, quality research, I mean to say, publish in one paper in top ranked journals, wait for 2-3 months, more than 2-3 months, then you decide to go, what is your strategy? So be strategic. Benefits are, first time authors demonstrate the authority and rigorous in their research, especially useful for the cross disciplines, internal decisions, right there. Considering co-authorship, some tips are there for you. Ensure the manuscript is the checked and edited so it reads to one voice. Exploit your individual strength. Agree and clarify order or appearances of the authors to take the personal care, and you can talk to with them directly on your phone and mobile phone these days. So that is also required, right? So you can make maybe a corresponding author, or all, because all authors can't be a corresponding author generally, because editors are always categorical that they say we can't communicate. They are happy to communicate with a one person from a team or maybe a one group. So distributing, because you decide. So considering all co-authorship tips are there, you can distribute your work, who will be the co-author, who will handle the entire thing if any changes will come. So this is one aspect which was not communicated in the earlier session. So I kept for this side, because I always design these deeply depending upon the situation, or even I can make some changes like this. So I have to entirely change all the session that way. Leader. Who will be your project leader? Who will be your leader? So leader could be a corresponding author, could be a, but all people are leader in general, but for the editors, because editors and reviewers, they always happy to communicate with the leader of that particular projects. But you will get the emails. It is not like that. You will get the email, or you can make a repo with them. Repo means you make a connection with all other co-authors also. Extending your work, considering a co-authorship, you can extend your work also. Like suppose you have done one publication last year, so now you want to extend the same work in a different way, different style, different methodology, you can also do that. I think editors and reviewers are always encourage people. So these are the expectations from the editors and co-authors, that you extend your work, you become a leader, you distribute your work in a very significant way so that everybody can get a chance. Like the first author can be a third or second position author in a different project, like that. So you just make some permutation and combination related to the co-authorship. Before you starting writing, you can go through some short descriptive containing, write a clear and descriptive abstract. I think we have already discussed, it's a repetition. Provide some relevant keywords and known keywords. So it's just a recap for all of you guys, right? As a structured abstract like 250 words, purpose, reason, aims, design, methodology, findings, research implication and limitations to practical implication if possible, right? So you decide. So everything is, so this is also dissection of the abstract, structured abstract. These days another new terminology is coming, structured abstract. Editors and reviewers always say that no, it is fine that you have submitted your abstract, but what about the structured abstract? A structured abstract means they want the purpose, they want to design, finding, research, and practical implications. Social implication, new addition has been added, as I've already discussed many times. Social implications, impact on society and policy, or maybe some interventions are there. So you can see exclusion, discussion, study of the scope. Common things are it is required, but in a new way. Originality, who would be benefited from this, what is the new about it, so these are the expectations from the editors and reviewers, and they are not to need many ideas about this. Before you started writing, like example of a good abstract, you can see here what is this HRM. I've just taken the example, and it is a, we can say that it is the emerald style, so you will find a different style of different company or publisher, right? Before you starting writing a target your avoid desk reject. So before you start writing, many papers are rejected simply because they don't fulfill the general requirement in the form of formatting, in the form of many things, or it is a stringent review process. So identify a few possible target general series, but will be realistic. Always follow an author guideline. I've already recommended, again I'm recommending you, ki author guidelines. Without author guidelines reading, you can't go ahead with this and you can't be successful. Scope, type of paper, word length, reference style, etc, etc. Find out where you send your paper, editor, online submission, scholar one, check authors, because these days another submission is like that, you can send the paper directly to the editor on their email. This is also new culture has started. They are not taking the papers from like I told an example like OD general. So that particular paper requires by the editor through email only. So you have to send the cover letter, you have to send the manuscript file, like everything in the AP7 format. I think that was, so now it is also a new culture that started, because ultimately if editor has to take care of that particular project, so it is very essential for that. So because mediums are not important, through which medium, through dashboard or through email, only the paper quality is important. So I think that trend has also started, maybe in future, maybe next 4 or 5 years, because too much of technology involvement is also creating problem, isn't it? I hope you agree with this. So check other guidelines also, because every journal, every company, every publisher, they have their own understanding, own guidelines to go for. So we have to be very much careful, because ultimately your this disposal of this paper is in the hands of editors and the reviewers. So send an outline and abstract and ask if this looks suitable and interesting for them, and how it can be made useful for such reasons. Read at least one issue of a publication in which you are targeting. Visit your library for access. If not available, you can request the other library or your friend, family friend, maybe your colleague, maybe the colleague's colleague, like this. So in this way, you can do this. Include a cover letter. I think I've already commented, opportunity to speak directly to the editor. So I think we have already. So it's a quick recap for all of you. Before you starting writing, we need to author guidelines like this. You speed up the process, avoid desk rejection, find out about submission requirement, find out about specific formatting requirements, check required reference stylings, and get on the good side of the editor. So it is really important to follow these guidelines before you starting writing. Why read author guideline? Because you maybe have question, or maybe this question is cropping in your mind that, sir, is it compulsory? Yes, it is a compulsory exam. It is not the choice. It is not like that random whatever paper you have written just throwing in the garbage. It is not that type of situation, right? Please handle this your paper carefully and follow the author guideline categorically. Whenever I submit any paper, I generally go to 2-3 times. Okay, anything like full stop, comma, maybe the style, maybe the font size, maybe the some other requirement depending upon the paper, maybe in the stencil form, maybe in the A4 sheet, maybe in the legal paper. Many things are there. So every company, every publisher, every journal have their own templates. So preparing to submit your papers, so you can see that what makes a good paper all about. So hints to editor review. Reviewers look for adherence to the editorial scope and objective of the journal. They are very particular. They are very particular about this. So I'm reiterating. They're very particular about the editorial scope and the objective of the journal. Originality, you should carry the originality, what new about the subject and treatment of the results. Relevance to an extension of the existing knowledge, that is also required, because it is really important for everyone to understand the relevance of that paper, journal connection, because ultimately the editor's job is to connect the entire dialogue. Because if suppose your paper is too good means excellent, outstanding, so the editor always want to keep at first, means whether you are in the long queue as per the series and all. So ultimate decision of the editor and reviewers, and they look forward for all these things accordingly. Research methodology, are the conclusions valid and objectives? It is a very serious thing. Please mind it, research methodology is the heart of the paper, as we have already discussed. So are conclusion valid and objective? Are they fulfilled, or it is a half-cooked material? Editor always look forward for those things. Clarity, structure, and quality of writing, that is also required. We have already commented and discussed this last 5 days. This is a so does it communicated well? Yes, according to you, it is communicated well. According to them, it may be the half communicated. So you need to improve. So they will ask you, they will send you the email. Okay, please go through and you find this. Sound, your paper must be sound. Your paper must be logical progression of the argument. You need to put too much arguments like that. One line single formation is not. So again, these things will come from your English, from your learning, from the more you practice, the more learning will be there. The simplest formula I have given you and leaving to you guys, that please work hard, please work hard, and please work hard. Because without work hard, you always be depending here and there and look here and there like this. But I want my participants, my FDP participants should not go here and there. They directly go, because enough assignments have been given in this last 4 or 5 days, what we are discussing. Theoretical and practical implication is that so far the factors are there. So that is really important. So editor reviewers expectations are very high, and they want all this. What makes a good paper, what makes a good quality paper. In this morning today, we commented about the quality of paper, what is this, but now we are categorically discussing about, before submitting your paper, you need to be sure, ensure, assurance. Give your assurance to yourself, give your assurance to your supervisor, or maybe whosoever they are collaborating with you. So all these things want there. Once you are done, then definitely you need not to go for this. Recent and relevant references, don't forget guys, this is last but not the least. Recent and relevant references need to be attached, need to be cited well, need to be argued well in your context. Then you have the complete package of the paper, and you can expect. Last point, major weightage. Please understand, internationally and global focus must be included, because your paper is going to the international journal in a true sense, not in local level. There the paper is coming from Europe, Middle East, Southwest Asia, many countries you can name, continents also, isn't it? A small company like maybe many papers are coming from Japan, Finland, Iceland, many things. Australia is also booming these days in the research. So we have to be inculcate all these things. Editor and reviewers always look forward. I think here and there you will get some responses when they send any comments to you, or their desk rejected. They always keep some things from these things. So I have made some compilation. So because any of the answers will definitely fall in any one of these bullet points, as far as the you know guidelines are concerned, and they look forward. So this is a very important slide, guys. So please look at everything from that angle. And the last, it is also a last, the last 3 points are a good title, keywords, and well written abstract is required. I think we have already. So international focus, recent references, these are also the three last major categories to beautify your paper, to talks about sensible, and definitely they love to publish. So peer review is there. Yes, your own work. Ask other friends to read your work inside and outside your field. We are always too close with this, like this is spelling checkers and all. I think we have, so spot the error. Anything cover letter. I think we have already commented cover letter. A statement why the paper is being submitted to this journal, if it is best and usable like this. So it is an opportunity to speak. You can see here. One cover letter dealing with these points would say, I am submitting this article to Journal of Documentation, you will see, and these ideas to Public Library Management Library. I'm submitting an article to similar title for public library. However, the articles gives a series of this. So this is a good covering letter, right? Bad covering letter, you can see. Bad covering letter. For example, I'm sending this article for you to publish in this. You are directly coming to the point. Please publish my article. This is not the way, guys. It is a bad cover letter. Okay. So I'm just giving you the example, and you are also mentioning that I have chosen this particular journal to publish this paper as it is high impact. So you are always thinking, world knows that, even editor knows that his or her journal is high impact journal and well regarded. So don't be personalized. Be for the society, be with the socials like this. So this is also a key point, that do not use the bad cover letters. After submission, again, it is a timeline. Editors, contact and all, 6 to 8 weeks generally required to the reviews. Editor generally takes 2 weeks to respond. But these days, the cycles are speed up, and many editors, they will taking this research as a serious case, and expected time from the submission to the review feedback is 3 to 3.5 months. So after 3, 4, 5 months or the 6 months, you can send a polite reminder to them through their email. And an email must be a very humble, very positive, in the form of cover letter. Okay, so that is really important. So these are some tips and tricks. Editorial decision generally come and they request for the revision. So they have the 3 points. You will be advised of 3 possible decisions, like they may reject, they may revise, they will accept. So it depends upon your entirely your paper or the way you have expressed. So decision revisions are possible. Auditors decisions, they decide. There may be slight changes like minor revision, a minor rejection, or minor acceptance. So these are further categories. So in totality 6 categories, but majority reject, revise, and accept, right? So like this: decision, revisions, rejections for reason, lack of faith, not following the author's guideline strictly, problem with the quality, inappropriate methodology, not reasoning rigorous, excessively long, many papers, many excessive paper without having any story, so they want to take it. Insufficient contribution, like say. And the last one is, did you understand the general conversation? So do you deal with it? How do you deal with the rejection? So don't give up. Everyone has the rejection at least once. Even I'm getting so many rejections even now after gaining expertise, or I'm trying to gain it. As I told you, I'm the scholar and a student of this research, but it is really important. I think we all are the student and we should be in the same mode. And ask why and listen carefully. Most editor will give detailed comments about a rejected paper. Take a deep breath. Listen to what is being said, right? And try to follow it. Simple as that. And try again, try to improve the paper and resubmit elsewhere. Do your homework and target your paper and closely ask for this. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. That is there. And this is the one area which I'm not going to detail. Rejection means don't give up, and you just have the decisions, edit a decision to first view decision, then second review, then decision publish, like this. So submissions go in this way: withdraw, reject, and revise, like this, right? So a request for the revision is a good news, and it's really, so whenever things comes to you, final revision, and you can say, don't be panicked. Even if the comments are sharper or discouraging, then they are not personal also, because they are very familiar about this. How to revise your paper: acknowledge if you disagree, clarify your understanding, consult with your colleagues, meet with the deadline, attach the cover letter. As you know, we have already discussed this part, like change will not improve the article, but you can but you can't change the time, but you can change the article, isn't it? So that is the idea. That you can see, dear editor, this is this, and the reviewers comment like this. So these are the agreeing with the reviewer comments, and this is the acceptance. In all years I have been an editor, I have not been accepted a single paper of the first submission. Typically editors comments are like this. Okay, that keep on changing. Third message: follow plagiarism. Do not do the plagiarism conditions just like that, and omit the plagiarism. Because what does plagiarism look like? Copying, agreeing, I think we have already discussed this part, so I'm skipping it. Why this is wrong: paper rejection and retraction and professional misconduct charges, termination of the employment. How can I avoid with this? I think we have already discussed. I'm skipping here. Self-plagiarism, redundant, unethical, conflict of interest, fabricated data. Many people they make it so like this. So with this ways, guys, I'm done with this exercise. So talk to me, ask me, tell me how I can help you. Tell us as a team, because I also surrounded by that some team. Use some top rated journals and give me feedback also. So for any answer you didn't get any today or tomorrow, that crops up to you later, so please reach me out. So thank you very much, guys, for a wonderful exercise and having a patience with me, so being with me during this FDP. So thanks you very much, and God bless you all. Have a great time. Bye bye.